Today we are with Guillaume Nery, champion freediver. Guillaume, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. Hello, everybody.
So you have 4 world records and won 2 world championships in constant weight freediving. What is that constant weight discipline about?
So just to explain it shortly, freediving is you hold your breath and you try to dive as deep as possible. The discipline called constant weight, as you can see on the video, is diving down, swimming down and coming back up without any assistance. It's the purest form of freediving. My deepest dive is 126 meters, so done in one breath.
And you are also now a filmmaker. How did you get into that?
After several years of competing, I decided that I wanted to share my passion and what I was experiencing in the ocean with a different way than just talking about records and about performances, because being in the water is really exploring a world of freedom, of magic, and doing films, short films, was for me the best way to share this with people. So the idea was not to make documentary, but the idea was like on this movie, this short film called One Breath Around the World, you can find on my YouTube channel. The idea is to bring the people into a journey down in the ocean, and it's really not a documentary, is more artistic film. It's really more poetry than informations.
And indeed, people who haven't seen them should go to your channel because they do exactly that, and we love them all.
Guillaume, you're a championship freediver. But you also work with companies and help them find inspiration around performance. What seems to resonate most with them when it comes to freediving and these companies?
The idea behind this, those conferences, those lectures, those talks with companies is really to bring to the people who are facing challenges in performances every day, my expertise and what I've been dealing with in terms of performance, in terms of dealing with stress, emotions, success, failure, because diving deep and trying to break a world record is really a big adventure that involves a lot of mental, physical, of course, and mental preparation. So what I really want to share with them is not about technical aspect. It's really what, in terms of performance, what are the similar vision that can work in different field. For example, to me, the kind of secret of the success, the basis of my philosophy is first how to keep the pleasure and the motivation with creativity. It has been my way to keep being motivated after more than 20 years of performance and of pushing my limits. How to maintain the passion and the pleasure. Then I like to talk about the relation with time, because in the society today we have been asked to go as fast as possible and we want short-term results. And in freediving, this doesn't work. And our aim is to have a long-term vision. And the key number 2 for me to succeed in freediving is to be patient. It's really a school of patience, because when I'm diving down, facing a hostile world, I need time for my body, for my mind to adapt to those extreme conditions. And this is very interesting because it works not only in the water, but in a lot of different projects. Taking time and being passionate to build a real long-term success. And the last thing is how to build the relationship to create a human adventure with my team. Because I cannot freedive alone. The rule number one in freediving is to never ever freedive alone. So I have to be surrounded by all my team, and we have to build really an adventure together. And how to create this human adventure, how to get people involved in a project that is at the beginning a personal project, and how to transform a personal project into a team project.
Yeah, and those are relevant, I would imagine, for small businesses as well as very large corporations. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you talked about passion and pleasure and creativity, and we can all very much relate to that. But at the moment, they're very hard to get, right? So we're all stressed out, we're all working remotely. There's a virus out there that's kind of dangerous or very dangerous, depending on who you are. So it's all quite stressful. What from your experience applies to those conditions? I can imagine there are times when diving is not that easy, when the wind, the current, the waves are not what you want, when something has not happened right during preparation. What are lessons, I think, that you could share in those sort of crisis times?
I've learned so many lessons in my freediving career, and I'm still learning every day. I really think that freediving is very interesting because it's a way to link the body and the mind. And in our society, we are really mostly working here, forgetting about how important is the body. And freediving taught me how to manage emotions, how to manage the mind through the body, through the breathing, for example. So this is a first example to reconnect. I really strongly believe that it's important to manage emotions, to manage difficult times, to reconnect with what is important in life. And I think this COVID crisis showed us what is essential and what is not essential. So the first rule is trying to get a connection again with the body, with the breathing, to be in the present, live the moment. You know, when I'm diving very deep and when I'm getting down to more than 120 meters, I'm kind of live in a survival mode. And the only way to come back at the surface is to live the moment, to live the present. When it's hard, when I need to breathe, when I'm facing challenges and difficulties on the way up to the surface for the first breath, the only way for me to get back at the surface is to stay focused on what's happening here and now. And it's a very good way to control the mental activity. And it's a kind of meditation. And I really think that the key of success is to reach a kind of state of deep calm inside and inner calm. So of course, when I go in the water, it's something that I can manage easier. And during this COVID crisis, I really try to bring what I've learned in the water here in my apartment, trying to meditate, trying to focus on breathing. I am a living creator, and the basic of the basic is just breathing. And it's a real good way to reconnect to the moment and live the present. And when you get this concentration, this focus, you are much more efficient. You are much more connected to yourself, to the ground, and you can manage difficulties, emotion, stress, and I think it's very, very important.
I'm taking big breaths just listening to you.
Yeah. So building on the kind of stress and the emotion, you know, you're a huge ambassador for the oceans and preserving our planet. These difficult months during the coronavirus has been a moment for a lot of people to pause and also for growth to be put as a second priority. I mean, as we come out of this crisis, what do you hope that businesses, people will take with them when they think about the planet? What are the tips from someone who like you, who lives and breathes looking after the planet?
That's a very hard and critical question, because I really believe that this crisis is, and I'm not talking about the coronavirus crisis, but the climate change and this environmental crisis is very bad at the moment. And this coronavirus crisis showed us that in the moment of emergency, we are able to change the way we used to live, and we can focus on what is vital and essential. And I really hope that we can in the future, that this COVID crisis will lead us to a change in the consciousness, in our link with the nature, with the ocean, and I strongly believe that we all need, individually and collectively, to think about what do we want for the future. Today, what I've changed is that I'm really thinking about, okay, do I need this? Is it essential to my life? What is I mean, that those questions are big questions, but I think the real question is what do we need to be happy, really? And what do we need to be happy, and what do we need to live in harmony with this planet, because we are all together on the same vessel. And those questions are big, are huge, and today I think we need to stop the bottom and to look around and really to reconsider the logic behind the way we're doing business, behind what's we are pursuing in our life, and how can we find happiness? Happiness, is happiness linked to growth only? Is happiness linked to economic success, or is there something much deeper and stronger behind that? And I really hope that there will be a deep change in our society.
Sustainability is sometimes a bit of an abstract concept, so we'll keep your question with us. What do we need as a definition for it? I think that's very useful. Yeah. Guillaume Nery, thanks very much.
My pleasure.
Thank you.